Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Pilates session. We're going to be doing lots of different arm shapes in today's class, and there'll be some sequences as well. Of course, we'll still do some leg work and there'll still be lots of spinal movement, but a little bit of focus on some arm sequences. Let's start by just getting the whole body to move though. So when you're sitting in your chair, you want to make sure that you're not slumped into the back of the chair, but that you're just sitting up nice and tall, so leaning or coming away from the back. And that means that you're going to have to use your abdominals. So you're thinking about pulling the belly button in to support your spine so that it feels that it can lengthen rather than slumping and collapsing. Okay, that then is also going to give space for you to think about your breath, because you've just created more space around your rib cage and we haven't slumped our diaphragm. We're not squashing our diaphragm. So try and keep that connection to the abdominals and that nice space for your diaphragm. Okay, so my feet are hip distance apart. Yours could turn out a little bit if that's comfortable for you, but try not to squeeze the knees in towards each other. Okay, as much as you can, your feet are flat on the floor, so we don't want to be perched up on the balls of the feet. We want to try and have this nice relaxed foot shape. My head is right on top of the spine, so I'm not slouching rather, and hanging forwards, just that nice upright body, and the arms are just hanging by the sides. I've got my hands on my legs. We're going to think about some breath and start moving the shoulders now. So we'll inhale and bring the shoulders up nice and high to the ears, and exhale, sigh, and let the shoulders draw down. Again, we'll inhale, bring the shoulders up, and we'll exhale, draw the shoulders down. A couple more, coming up on the breath in and coming down on the breath out, and again up on the breath in and down on the breath out. Lovely. So we often do shoulder circles. Today we're going to think of drawing a little diamond. So at the moment your shoulders are down, they're at the bottom of the diamond. Then they're going to come forward a little bit and up higher. That's one of your points of the diamond. Up high at the top to make the top point, back and a little bit low, and then right down at the bottom. Those are your 4 points. Forward and a bit up high and in the center, back and a little bit in the center, and then all the way down. So forward, up high, back down, and all the way at the bottom. So we're going forward, up high, back, and down. Excellent. We'll go one more time like this. I'm going to turn side on, and hopefully that will make sense too. So now we're going to go back, up at the top of your diamond, forward, and then down at the bottom of the shape. Back, up at the top of the diamond, forward, and down at the bottom. And again, 2 more. Up, forward, and down. And one more time, back, up, forward, and down. Excellent. All right, so that's got those moving quite nicely. Let's now take our attention to our spine. So we're going to think about the vertebrae in the neck first of all. There's 7 in your neck. You're going to nod the chin to the chest, which gets those 7 moving, and then let the head float up. Again, we'll nod the chin to the chest and let the head float up. 2 more. Chin drops to the chest, head floats back up, and one more time, chin drops to the chest, and then the head floats back up. Then we're going to come into a little incline. So I've got ear to shoulder, and then I come up to the center, ear to the other shoulder, and then back up to center. Again, ear to a shoulder and up, ear to a shoulder and up. Let's do one more on each side there. Excellent. So now we're going to go back to the spine. So we've done our chin to chest. Then we're going to continue to round the spine. I'm going to let my arms run down my legs towards my ankles, and then I'm going to come back up. So the idea here is we're trying to get the spine to move segmentally. I talked about the 7 bones in your neck area. You have got 12 in your upper back. And you have got 5 in your lumbar spine. And we're trying to feel like we're giving each vertebrae the opportunity to move as we come forward and then up. We'll go 3 more times. All the way up, and we'll go again. all the way up, and lucky last time here, coming rounding the spine, reaching down towards the feet, coming all the way up, and pause. Okay, so now it's time to think about some arm movement. Okay, we're going to start with something called floating arms. The arms are going to start down by the sides and they're just kind of hanging or floating in the air. I'm going to start with this side. It's going to come all the way up, drawing a sort of semicircle, and then it will come all the way down. We'll do the other side. We'll bring that all the way up and all the way down. Now notice I'm trying to think about my arm moving rather than just bringing the shoulder straight up to the ear. It's about that arm movement. And my hands, my fingertips are always in my peripheral vision. So my hand isn't going too far behind me. All right, let's try and do both at the same time. And you might want to think about breathing in as they come up and breathing out as they come down. Breathing in as they come up and breathing out as they go down. We'll do two more just like this. That's your breath in and that's your breath out. And one more time. Excellent. All right, now the next exercise is called corkscrew. You're thinking of one of those old-fashioned corkscrews where the arms used to come up and then you'd pull the arms down and the cork would come out, okay? The floating arms starts that exercise. So we bring the arms all the way up, and that's like the arms and that corkscrew coming up. Then we're going to take the hands behind the head and bring the shoulders up too. And then we draw the shoulders down and I try and feel like my head is popping out through my hands, and then I'm going to release my arms and sweep them all the way around. There's a lot going on. Let's try that again. So start as we have with our floating arms. Okay, then we interlace the hands, they come behind the head and we lift the shoulders up high. Then we draw the shoulders down. When you feel they can't go any further, you bring the arms up and you open all the way wide. Couple more, bring those arms all the way up, reach them high, interlace the hands behind the head and lift the shoulders high. Good, and then let the shoulders drop down, bring the arms up and over the head, let them sweep to the sides. One more time, bringing those arms all the way up, interlace the hands, place them behind the head and now lift those shoulders. And then draw the shoulders down, bring the arms up and sweep them all the way around and back down to the sides. Excellent. Okay, we're going to work with a bent arm shape now. So bending the arms up in that sort of genie-like position. Okay, from here we're going to straighten both arms out and then bring the other arm across the other one. Straighten both arms out and bring them across. Now, as you do this, if you're feeling a bit tight through your shoulders, you could have your arms a little bit lower. We're just trying to set this first part of the movement, which is a reach out and a swap, a reach out and a swap. We'll do one more, a reach out and a swap, and then we'll have a little rest and roll the shoulders. Okay, what we're going to try and add in is a little bit of a chest lift. So it's a little bit of a back extension, and we're also going to do a little bit of a row. A row is when you bring your elbows back, okay? So that's what we're going to try and do here. We're going to try and add in a row, all right? So we've got those arms crossed over. Those arms will reach out in front. Now this is where we do our row. We bring the elbows back and we try and lift the chest up. You're kind of looking across the room to a top diagonal. Then those arms will go straight out. You'll bring one arm over the top of the other and we are back to the start. So the arms will go out. You'll bring them back and you'll lift your chest up. You'll stretch your arms out. You'll cross them one back over the top of the other. We go arms out. We pull them back and we lift the chest. We reach the arms out and we cross them over. We've got two to go. We take the arms out. We pull them back and we lift the chest. Good. We reach the arms out, bend the elbows and bring them to close. And our last time, reach them out, lift the chest, stretch them forward, bend them in and then rest. Okay, we're going to leave the arms alone. They've done quite a lot of work. So you can just let your hands rest on your legs and we're going to focus on our legs a little bit. We're going to start with this leg. We're just going to slide it out. If you can, it will lift off the floor. Then it's going to flex, it's going to point and we're going to draw it all the way back in. We're going to reach the other leg out. If you can, it lifts off the floor. We flex it. We point it, we bring it all the way back. We're going to go again. Now this is me just doing it on the floor. So I'm keeping my toe or my heel on the floor the whole time. Okay, little bit harder if you can lift the leg off, By doing that, we're working the quads a bit more, and we're working the muscles of the thigh that help to stabilize the knee, which is quite a good thing to do. Okay, we're going to take it out. We're going to flex it. We're going to point it. We're going to rest it down. We've got one to go on each side. Reach it out. We're going to flex it. We're going to point it. We're going to release it down. And here we go again. We're going to lengthen it out. We're going to flex it. We're going to point it. And then we're going to rest it down. Okay, now we want to get those legs out again. So if it was hard for you to get your legs out, you are allowed to sit back a bit further and lean back onto the chair. You are allowed to do that on this one. You're also allowed to hold the leg, okay? What we're going to do with our foot is we are going to write a name. You're going to write your own name, okay? So either with that leg out or holding it, leaning back if you need to, you're going to write your name. Now, as you can see, I could almost be writing anything at this point, but I know I'm doing my best version at writing some letters and different shapes. Okay, wherever you've got to, let's swap sides. And on the other leg, you're going to write your birth date. So the number and the month. Some of you might do more than others. I'm a January birthday, so that takes me a bit longer to write than May. Excellent. We're going to pause. All right, back to that first side, and now that's going to do your birthday. Now, the reason I like doing letters or numbers is that it's a different pattern for your body to be used to. Often we do circles, but when you're writing a combination of letters, it is quite different. And then we're going to rest it down, and then back to that first side, and we're going to write name. Now, of course, if you can't hold your leg up, you could just have your foot much lower on just off of the floor, just down here. But do see if you can get that ankle to move. It's really good for circulation and really helping if you get cramps in your calves. To try and get that movement going is really helpful. Okay. Now we are going to keep the feet on the floor, but we're going to think about the hips. And this is where it helps to sit forwards. I'm going to start with my knees and my ankles together. This is our zigzag feet exercise. So we separate the toes, then we separate the heels, then we separate the toes. And if you can, you separate the heels. If you've got one more in you, to separate toes. And we come in back in with the toes and then the heels. Now I'm talking about the feet, but I'm trying to really think about that movement happening at my hips. My thigh bones turn one way, then they try and turn the other way. Then they're opening one way, they're opening out the other way. They're opening out one way, and then they're working their way back in. Quite good to do your arms as well. And thought of that as a little extra arm exercise. We're going to do one more. Rolling out and rolling in. And rolling out and then in. We come, bringing the legs back together, and we'll pause. Okay, separate the feet. Let's take our attention now to our hands. We've done a lot through the arms, but let's think about our hands. We're going to put them like we were going to play a piano, and we're going to think about the thumb pushing down on the piano, the second finger of each hand, the thumb, the fourth digit, the fifth digit, and then we'll go from 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're doing that twice more, a little quicker. Thumb, 2, 3, 4, fifth finger, 5, 4, 3, 2, back to the thumb. We'll go thumb, 2, 3, 4, little finger, 4, 3, 2, and thumb. Now we're going to pinch. We're going to try and pinch the second finger and the thumb, the third finger and the thumb, the fourth finger and the thumb, the little finger and the thumb. That's quite hard. And then we're going to go fourth finger, third finger, second finger. Couple of that. Second, third, fourth, and fifth, fourth, third, second. One more time. Second, third, fourth, and fifth, fourth, third, second. Excellent. And then give them fingers a little shake. Interlace the hands for a little wrist roll. So circling, rolling around those joints. You might have quite clicky wrists. Very common to have clicky wrists. If it doesn't confuse you, roll and release them back the other way. Excellent. And then we'll just do some splashing hands. So we scrunch and we stretch. 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 Let's do 4 more. Stretch and a stretch and a stretch and a stretch and one more and a stretch and a rest. Okay. Spinal movement. We're going to do some rotation. We're going to do some side bending. I'm going to get you to think about the breath as well as we work here. So let's take one hand across to the other thigh and one hand on the back of the chair or the arm. Sit up tall to get yourself to breathe in and breathe out to take that twist. Stay there when you next breathe in and breathe out to take that twist. One more time. Stay there as you breathe in and breathe out to take that twist, and then come all the way back to the front. Right across with the other arm over, the other hand behind you. Sit nice and tall. We'll breathe out to take our twist. Inhale there. Exhale to take your twist. Inhale. Exhale to take your twist. And then let's come back to center. Okay, now we're going to do a side bend. So I'm going to take this arm up high. You could hold onto the chair or you could put your hand on your leg. We're going to reach over to the side and then come back up to center. We're going to move this. So we're going to exhale over. Inhale, you inflate your lungs to lift you up. Over we go. Inhale to inflate your lungs to bring you up. And one more time, we go over. Inflate our lungs to bring us up, and then we rest. Okay, other arm up nice and high, and we go over. And we inflate our lungs to bring us up, and we go over. And we inflate our lungs to bring us up, and again we go over. We inflate our lungs to bring us up, and then we have a wee little rest. Now we're going to try and combine those two movements. So we're going to start with a side bend, and then move into our twist, and then come to center. Okay, so let's start with this arm up high. We're going to bend over to the side. Then as you turn, this arm high is going to come onto your leg. You're going to sit your spine up tall and take a bit of a twist. And then you come all the way back around to face me. And we're going to reach the other arm up nice and high. We're going to lean over to the side. And then this top arm sweeps across you, reaches for the leg. You sit up as you take your twist. And then you come back to center. Let's go one more time on each side. Reach high, bend over to the side. Flex your body, hands hold on, and we're taking our twist. Then we'll come back to the start point, reach your arm up high, lean over to the side, roll and rotate, sitting tall to take your twist, and then let's come all the way back to center. Excellent. All right, let's do a couple of roll downs and some shoulder circles just to finish with, because we've covered quite a lot of material already. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. As we breathe out, we'll tuck the chin to the chest, round the body forwards, and reach your hands down along your legs like we did at the start. And then bring yourself all the way up. And once you're up nice and tall, we're going to draw one little shoulder diamond. Let's go again. Chin to chest, round the body, reach down towards the toes. Bring yourself all the way back on up. Sit nice and tall. And here we go. Another of those shoulder diamonds. Last time we are chin to chest, reaching all the way down. Coming all the way back up. Nice tall spine, and we've got one of those shoulder diamonds to finish. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the class and you did enjoy doing a few different movement combinations for the arms. I'll see you again soon.